joining me on a new episode of the Sweet Kitty podcast channel. My name is Jolanda and I'm coming to you from the east of the Netherlands. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining me. This is a podcast mainly about my creative life, and that includes mostly knitting, a little bit of spinning. I like to crochet, I like to do a little bit of sewing. So all the things that come my way I will show off here for you. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for returning, starting conversations and joining me on this journey. That has been quite some while now, so thank you so very much if you keep returning and if you're joining for the first time. I have been busy, of course, like usual. It has been taking longer than I expected. We still got the dog that is not feeling well. He's got a very bad cough, a cold. We got an appointment with him to an actual animal hospital in Arnhem on Monday. And before that, we decided to give him prednisolone in... well, we didn't decide it, but the vet did. Because we still got the impression that he has a very bad allergy, like hay fever or something like that. It works very well, actually. He's tried it before, and it only takes one tablet, and he feels so much better. Unfortunately, there are some side effects at the moment, which that makes him tired and things like that, but he's doing better. But we still will go to the animal hospital and see for a second opinion, or maybe some in-depthly insight in what's going on. And so we are at the vet almost every week, so that's quite not so fun. But I did still, of course, knit. I did sew some stuff. I even crocheted some things, I think. Yeah, did some yarn dyeing. So let's just start at the beginning, what I'm wearing. This is also a finished object. It is the Crow Nita top by Lite Knits, also known as Justina Lokowska. Probably butcher that name. It's a hard name to say, I think. That's just a lacy yoke in a kind of a different way. It looks like leaves. I made it out of 100% cotton, and it is the cotton light, I think. Oh, I might be lying, I'm not sure. Look at my project page if you want to be sure what yarn it is, but it is 100% cotton, and I'm quite excited and curious to see that this is holding shape very well for 100% cotton, and I did not expect that. But it might be because it is a high twist cotton, and I did knit it on not a real tight gauge, but not also a very loose gauge, so in the middle, and that gives probably a sturdy enough fabric. This is a tubular cast off, might also be helping, but I really like how it looks and it fits very nicely. So yeah, so there's just the stockinette section on the bottom. I think I did the cast off a bit too tight, because it is a bit, it's not too tight that I don't fit in there, but it doesn't stretch enough to be very comfortable, so it's okay though. Yeah, so that was a finished object for this week, of not a week, it's more than a month, but for this time. There are of course more finished objects, and I'm looking around to find the right one. So I made a few dishcloths, which is always nice if the weather is very warm. Then these are very fun projects. Also, if you have just one old ball of a cotton, then this also works very nicely. There are a lot of free patterns. I chose a few. This is a sack of dishcloth samplers, and this is one of the stitch patterns, which is quite nice. It's a bit more, it's ochre yellow, which does not really show up on camera. I do have a new camera because my old phone decided the thing was just not behaving properly. Every time I got a phone call, the thing locked his screen and restarted itself. So that's not very useful for a phone. So I was fed up with it in a bad way. So my husband said, "Oh, I could use this to watch the cameras around the house, and I would like." I said, "Good." He has a good home now. You go get it. I bought myself another phone, and I was looking primarily at a very good front camera, which this one had a very high megapixel front camera. I think 36 or 24. Which is very good, and it was especially made for making good quality pictures and videos. So we'll see how it works. I hope it works okay. So another of the same pattern, the sack of Discloth samplers, and you can always find these on my Ravelry page, which is Jolanda Loves Yarn, and then you can friend me or not, and you can look at my projects, and there are also links then to the project pages from the designer, so you can buy or free download the pattern if you wish. Another one is the Whispering Pines Dishcloth, which is a very nice one, and it is a very dense one. I almost dropped my tablet. A dense pattern, but this will be very nice for scrubbing your face and your body. So this is also an the yarn is also a mercerized cotton, so it is also a bit sturdier from itself on its own. That's what I think, and it is tightly crocheted. So yeah, that's a lovely stitch pattern. I hope it shows up. We'll see. And I have a few more. There are a ton of free patterns for knitted or crochet dishcloth or face cloth. I really use them as face cloth. I think everybody here in the house uses them, and we really like those. So this is the Primrose Dishcloth, which was also a nice pattern, and it really is nice to try out new stitch patterns for crochet. I think this it is biasing a bit. Might be my fault. Those are not washed yet. Don't bother. That was also a nice one, and that was done at the woven stitch dishcloth. I think I talked about the woven stitch last time. It's mimicking the linen stitch, kind of. And this produces a dense fabric, just has no drape. So if you were keen on making a rug or a table runner or something, this will hold up nicely. And of course, if you do it at a marbled yarn or self-striping, it will very nicely mix together. This is just a bit boring, but the stitch pattern is nice. So, well, that were dishcloths. And then I still have a lot of hand spun yarn. I'm looking over there because it's there. That's just weird. And I decided to make another pair of the gaugeless socks, and the pattern is out already. So this is with the strange heel construction, which I could not show last time, and it is not showing up here. But it is a different kind of legal heel. So, but it's knitting up fast. You can knit this in any gauge. You don't have to do a gauge swatch, you just have to know how thick the yarn is, choose a needle size that will produce a very nice fabric, and then she really guides you through how you should measure while you knit on. So it is from the toe up, so you can knit until a certain point on your foot, and then you stop, the toe increases, then you knit to a certain point at your ankle, and so on. So this is absolutely a very versatile pattern, and of course it's hand spun, so they're not identical, but then you can use up all the little bit of yarn you got, so you have no left over, so just a tiny little bit, and then you bind off and you have yourself another pair of socks, which is very nice. I found the band for what yarn this was, which I totally lost again. I did do it 3-ply, and I remember this is quite an old yarn, and I'm very surprised how well and how nicely and kind of thin and consistent it was for how beginner spinner I was at the moment. So that's very nice. Very nice. And I did spin this specifically for socks in mind, so those turned out very well. Very nice. Happy about those, definitely. And then sometimes you just get the bug of test knitting again, and I feel like if I have a little bit of pressure, I produce so much more than if I don't really have to do something, don't have to knit for a certain purpose, just for having a garment. So I did a few test knits. I have to finish one more actually. So I just going to show you this one. This is still in testing phase. It's the Leon Kids sweater test knit. Leon Kids, and it is from a German designer. This is newborn, 0 until 3 months, but there is a range up to maybe teen. I don't even know. I can be lying. I don't know really. I just chose a small size, and then you get a pattern, and you can knit it in a bigger size if you want to. There were a ton of options. I did the one who just have increases. Hope you can see that. There's a little slit on the back with a button and a crochet loop. I did short sleeves with no cuffs, just let it roll up, because that mimics kind of the neckband. And then I did do a ribbing at the bottom, because that really fits better maybe for a baby that is moving around. I don't know, I just felt like it. This is just 100% acrylic. It's Stylecraft Special DK in a sea bluish green. It's actually quite looking quite good. Oh, you can see the increases. There was also an option to do not the make one, but do a yarn over, so you get little eyelets. And there was also an option to do at all the spaces of the increases make a bubble. That also gave a very different look, of course. My neighbor is pregnant, so I was thinking from, I'll make a little baby thingy, and I hope this could be for a boy or girl. It's not really blue, it's bluish green. And just a very nice, cute little button. See? There was also an option to do long sleeves, and then the tapered one, or the straight and the kind of the balloon thing. There were somebody made stripes for a little boy. So there are so many options. Absolutely nice. I found while I knitted this, I thought the body was a bit long, but then people said, yeah, they grow so fast and blah blah blah. So I just did as the pattern asked for, and I know it better be a little bit longer than too short. I absolutely agree with that, but I think it looks a bit out of proportion. Maybe it's not. It will be fine. Very easy, very quick knit, and this is always enjoyable, those little things. So no, I don't have a baby in my life, but this will be a gift. Maybe I have some yarn left, and make little booties to go along with them. That's always a nice set, right? The next thing, I don't think it's quite in order, but who knows and who cares, right? So yesterday I finished the socks from Free Socks 2020 from Kia's Boats podcast. That's also a project that I really like and enjoy participating in, because there is a deadline. It's not a very strict deadline, because you got a month, and sometimes that is even hard to get that to get it finished if they're very hard and a technique that you're not used to. But these were doable. I got distracted by too many things. It was not a hard pattern. It was very enjoyable. I chose a looser stitch count than I would usually do, so these are not blocked yet. I chose the 74. If there were just plain socks, I would definitely have the 64. But I made a few socks, the colorwork socks, that are so tight, and I don't like that. And it was so much work, and yeah, if I put them on the sock blockers while they're wet, I can wear them, but they just dried like I let my socks dry and they look so small. So I didn't want to take the risk, so I wanted to make them a bit bigger, but I thought this was quite wide, so after the gusset I decreased a little bit more, so I think I decreased almost 10 stitches, so the foot would be the regular size that I like. And I kind of did not consider things correctly. First of all, of course, the little flowers came a bit closer together on the sole, which totally fine, doesn't matter. I don't think I had to go up for the medium size, because this is not really color work, it is slip stitches. But all in all, they turned out very pretty. They all look so nice. Go and have a look at the project pages for this pattern, which is a free one. It's quite new. It's the Petit Fleur, and it is so enjoyable to knit. It's just one round. Well, each color you alternate every round with a color, and in a certain round you do a slip stitch. Yeah, and I always got a jog, but no matter what. So it's very nice. So the flowers are the slipped stitches. Yeah. That's also finished. Let's have a look at my tablet if there are any other finished things. I don't think so. There was a funny thing though. I am a member of Wardrobe Toolbox. I don't know if you know it, but that is from Libby Johnson, who is truly metal. And then you get every week you get a pattern of hers, or she talks about how to substitute yarn, how to measure yourself. There was a workshop with somebody who knew everything about colors, which colors suit you, which category, words. Well, you got summer, winter, you got deep winter, cool winter, all kinds of types you can be, depending on your hair color, your skin color. And then certain types of colors are better for you to wear if you want to look your best. But if you just want feels better in whatever color, then of course that is also an option. But I was always drawn to the idea to finding out what really suits me. But it's still quite difficult, because this doesn't feel like I'm shining. That sounds pretty ridiculous, but sometimes you wear something and you feel like, oh, I feel like a queen, you know? You feel just very great in some certain colors, some fabric, and this does not do that for me. But if I look at the camera, I don't think I look dead or something. So this is kind of color that would fit in a range of colors that suits me, but I probably could do better with colors like that, the more vibrant colors. That will probably do more for my skin. I wasn't going to talk about that though, because, well, whatever. But there was a knit night, and I always miss the knit night because she is in New Zealand, and so she got a totally different time zone from us. And also the fun fact that she's having winter at the moment, so if we have summer, they have winter, and yeah, that's still a funny thing to wrap your head around, I think. But she had a knit night, and I was in the morning drinking my coffee at 8:30, and I got an email like, knit night is starting in 30 seconds. I'm like, ooh, that's interesting. I've never done that before. So it was on Zoom. I installed it on my phone very rapidly, and really it worked. I got in, and I don't know if you're squeaking, that's my son. His chair is just squeaking like crazy. We got the doors open because it is very warm. So I got in, I raised my hand like you can, and the second person is like, yeah, I'm on. So all the other ones who logged in could see me. I showed off what I was working on and told a little bit about the weather, because everyone likes to know that. And I was at the end of it like, what did I just do? What? That's not really really something, because I'm not an extrovert. I'm totally an introvert, and if I knew this was going to happen, I just would have not slept the whole night. And it just popped up. I did it, and I was I was very happy with it, and I'm very glad I could share it with somebody, because everybody in the house looked like, what are you talking about? I thought it was quite exciting. If you're 50 plus and you have never done anything like this in this technology world, and you just had a live call with somebody you, well, I admire her. She makes wonderful things. She's a lovely person. She always makes me smile. And you can just talk to somebody who is that far away, and everybody over there was with the lights on, and it was dark, and some of them were ready for bed, and I was just like, oh, the morning just started. I have my coffee, and the weather's nice, and that's just very exciting. A very, very weird thing. Yeah, that's probably the age. Just very, very nice though. I had a lot of nice experiences. The last month, I had a communication with somebody in India. We apped. On Instagram, I had more of a connection with some of the Dutch people, which I really, really liked. I'm such a derp if it is going talk about technology. So I pressed. I wanted to send somebody a picture. I pressed the camera button, and then suddenly we were in a live call, which was also very funny, very nice, and so enjoyable. I really liked that. Yeah, I really did. So thank you for all of you who try to get in touch with me, and sometimes it goes through a little bit of bump, and but it is fun. It's so much fun, and I think it's so exciting. In the time I grew up, we had to send somebody a letter if you wanted to talk to somebody on the other side of the world, because telephone calls were very expensive, and there was no way you could see the other person, and if you were lucky, you got a picture of them. And yeah, I got a niece, a few nieces in America, my brother's in America, so things have changed so rapidly. And if you see my boys, they're chatting away all over the world. My youngest son has somebody who has only electricity once a week or something like that. You can't even imagine. It's just so fun. It's so great. Yeah, I really enjoy that. So where was I going? I don't know. Babbling again. I have been sewing a few things because Patrick has been going back to school. Not full weeks, but Monday, Wednesday and Friday the first week, and then Tuesday and Thursday this week. So he is brought to school by a taxi because of his it is not really disability, but they go to a special school for autism and ADHD, so they got the chance to be picked up at home and brought to school without having a word. Just gonna be picked up here and put out there where the school is, and vice versa, so he can get home safely without having to do public transportation. It's as easy as that. But because they are quite close together, they had to wear face masks. I bought a bunch of them, but crappy stuff. So of course, as a crafter, you make your own. I made him, I think, 12, and they're custom made on his face because he got the smallest face of us all, because we got strangled by the stuff and he fits in there correctly. So I got one pattern that I like, and that is this one, and it is you cut it on the fold, so you're gonna have a line, a little sewing line here and here to make it shaped around you like a sort of a dart, and then it will go, well, this one is going to be for Michael, so he got the long straps who will go around his head. I don't like that because my long hair, I can always get tangled, so I'd made mine in some lovely floral fabric, and I have to make more, but yeah, sometimes you get distracted again. And he was in a desperate need, so Michael also have a few ones here. And I've got a floral one, I just use it, put it in the wash dryer and use it again. But I'm using small elastics, they most of them fall already off from the store-bought face mask. So I'm using a little knot at the end. Not sure if I can find. So these are glued on the store-bought mask, and that just is, you try to put them on and plop, they already come off. So what I do is I make a tiny little knot at both ends like this. Yeah, and as soon as you're gonna sew them, so this is just this. So this is one side. I made here a little dart, and there. And you make another one and just fold them together and turn everything inside out. And you've got to put the elastics on the side seam. So you can fold this in, and then because there's a knot, I'm just gonna sew like here, and then the knot will be caught in the seam, so that won't come out. And I like them just the small ones I can put around my ears like that, and then the mask goes like like this, and then I will put that one around my ear. I found that the most comfortable. The guys don't, so they like the big elastic, put it over their heads, but they got short hair, so that won't get tangled in anything. So yeah, made a bunch, and you just need a tiny bit of fabric. I just read something about using a different kind of fabric from the inside that can catch even more fluid stuff. I'll try that pretty soon, hopefully, but not today. Face mask. I have a overlock machine, and that had a plastic cover. I have a picture of that. It looks like a bag. It looks like nothing. So I'll put a picture in here. And I thought it could use definitely an overhaul. So I made a big sheet like the one over there, just bigger squares of fabric, so not the small, but I think 4 times the size of the little ones. Just sew them all together, made a very long strip, I think the size like that one. Put the fiber fill in between that you use for quilting, put on a backing, quilted it in various lines. I used the old cover as a template, cut the pieces out, sew them up, and looks amazing. I have a picture for you how it turned out, so you can see. Molly was always trying to get in to the bag, like from under there, or maybe through the hole. There was a hole where you could reach out for the handle. She always wanted to dive in there. I tried to get some of the yarn, it's called yarn, sewing thread, and then she starts chewing on it, but that is so very strong. She just keep eating and then it's never gonna end because there are thousands of meters on those cones. So there's no hole to lift the thing up or to carry it around, because I don't carry it around. It's just here. I'm just gonna lift the cover, gonna use it, and I'm not gonna drag around with it. So it is totally closed now, and it is much safer for her, and I can leave it out because I changed things around, and I'm close to the window now. I got a window in front of me and one window on the side, so I got much more lighting on my working surface. So that's why there's a different background. I have my bed next to me, and on the other side is all my yarn. So that is a wall full of yarn. But that's okay. And Patrick said, "Oh, Mom, it's so cozy. You're sleeping much closer to the yarn now." So nice kid. Well said. Now, well, what next? Some of you may have a subscription for Knit Crate. I really like that. But there was so much delay at the moment, and there still is. I had to receive the March and April, I think. I just got those. And the funniest thing was, the one they sent out for June had already arrived first. So they're probably at the top of the stack. That's still there. And now they're digging down and deeper and deeper. So stuff is popping up. For me at least. I hope you will have packages soon also. Because there was really a stop to sending out things to other countries out of the US. But the last one was called Blank Canvas, and I keep looking over there because the stuff is over there. Blank Canvas, which meant we all got bare yarn with no color on there. It was very nice and soft merino. I think there was nylon in there. And we got 2 packages of Kool-Aid for 2 skeins. So I have a double package, so I got 400 grams and I can really make a cardigan, jumper, whatever. So I got to do some dyeing, very basic with Kool-Aid. So Kool-Aid already has some how do you call that? It is a sour that's in there that makes it adhere to the yarn. The sour, the acid is words are failing me now. You have to use a mordant. And that if you're just starting, you use the acid, and I moved away from that because the smell is, I don't like the smell. And then you can go to citric acid, and the Kool-Aid already has citric acid. Now the words are coming. So you just pour the Kool-Aid in a pot. She had 2 tutorials on how to use it. I did it differently. She speckled it and she did a tonal dye, so just dunk it in there. I did it differently. This is what I made. So I got a berry color and a raspberry or something like that. What I did is I dissolved them in a measuring cup, in a big one for a liter. Pre-soaked the yarn. I've got those shaving dishes where I can put in my yarn, but you can also put it in something you put in the oven to make a pot roast or something, and you fold it a few times more. So I put 2 together. Maybe I did all 4 of them together. I don't remember. And what I did is the 2 measuring cans, or 1 liter cans with the dissolved dye. I just poured it over, and then when you pour it, it's gonna spread. And then another color, and things are going to spread into one another, and you get more colors. And sometimes it doesn't reach totally, so you get a little bit of lighter. But for me, I thought the colors were too pale, so I added my professional dyes, and I added more of the lavender. So this is darker than you probably would be able to make with the packages that you got. And then, that is very nice. I can show you that. The trick with Libby Johnson with Wardrobe Toolbox, she was like, put the skeins of yarn around your neck and wear it. Make pictures of yourself and see if the color suits you. Well, I can't see that. I really don't. Or I think everything looks good. It's just weird. I'm not sure if this is the best color. I think I look more pinkish if I wear pink. The pink in my skin is going to show better if I wear something pinkish. But whatever. I really have trouble seeing it. But you probably, on the other side, you'll be seeing it more easily because you're not used to my face that much. I also had more colors, and I wanted to have a lovely brown, which I made. This is a sport weight yarn, and I didn't have any sport weight brown yarn, so I thought this is very nice for winter. I know brown looks good on me. I know that. Why? I don't know, but I think I like it, and I think it looks good. So this will probably be used for some color work. I got a few skeins of this. And I also had some cotton and merino, and this is what I used because this would be very nice for something in the summer. And it was more to the red side, and I added more darker purples to it. because I think the darker ones look better than the ones that go through the red. I like, for me, the blue toned colors are better than the red toned colors, so I figured that one out. But it's very hard to see in a color if there's more blue or red. But I think this will be okay. I love the color anyway. And there's also a trick. If you've got something that you think, oh, that doesn't really look good, put a shawl or put a distraction with a dark necklace, or put on more prominent lipstick or something to draw the attention from the not so suitable colors to what better fits you. Big earrings might even help. It was so interesting. I really like those tips and tricks. So I thought I didn't have that much to say, but yeah, that's how it goes. On to the finished up with tricot. So I did also dye a few skeins for my shop. I will put in some pictures here so you can look. I thought some of the pictures will turn out really nice. I really tried my best. So go have a look and enjoy what I've been dyeing, because if you get started, I really like dyeing, but it is very bad for my arm. But do small quantities and it will be fine. So, I've got a work in progress that you have seen before, and this is the Symphony Sweater by Varm Design. And she is a Norwegian designer, and this is how far I got. I made a few modifications. It was a very oversized, and the armholes were very deep. Personally, that's not what I like to wear, and that's not my style. So I chose the smaller side, which was XS, which is ridiculous, but it doesn't matter. Those measurements fitted me. And because the armholes were made very much lower than I did separate the sleeves, because the armholes should have started here after all the repeats. I didn't want it, so I started it here, just finished the repeats, and now I'm just going to knit plain white. The pattern has you do this pattern just in purl stitches, so you get a little bit of texture at the bottom. I don't want to have much of a attention draw to that side of me, because that's the widest part of me. I don't really want too much things going on there, so I think I'm just gonna do it plain. I'm not sure how long I'm gonna make it. It was supposed to be a cropped one, and I tried this on a pants, and I still have to make those pants in these colors. Actually would be very nice. And I'm also not sure if I'm gonna do sleeves or just gonna keep it short. If I'm gonna do the sleeves, I'm gonna do this repeat also on the sleeves, maybe make 3/4 sleeves. I'm just not, I haven't figured it out yet. I will do the body first. I have a lot of yarn. It's just the cotton, this is 50% cotton and 15% acrylic from Drops. I always mix up the names. But this has turned out very nicely, and it is, I think the colors are very summery, so I don't want to make it really long sleeves. I don't think I'm gonna wear this in winter because of the white, and it is a DK weight yarn, which actually is kind of double because of all these strands. So I might just keep it as a short sleeve, and you can always use it as a layering piece for the fall or in the spring. And it would be nice if I made the pants that I have the colors for, like this one, and maybe add a long sleeve shirt under there and also that color, and that will also be very nice. So if I keep it a little bit shorter than I usually would, it really didn't look bad. And if you then layered it with a longer shirt, that might even look very nice. So this is a little bit on the back burner because of other things that are going on at the moment. But this has I've seen a lot of progress, and yeah, Just wanted to show you. This is the Symphony Sweater by Farm Design, and it's all on my project page. Sorry about that. Just have a little bit of a drink. So let's talk about the weather for a little bit while we take a break. I'm here in the Netherlands, and we are going to have a very, very warm weather this week. It's probably going to exceed the 30 degrees Celsius, which I have no clue it's in Fahrenheit, but for us it's very warm and really don't like that. But you got to do with what you get. It hasn't been too bad. We have had very hot weather, sometimes very early in spring already, and it went on the whole summer. It wasn't that bad this year, so really don't have anything to complain. We still got a fair amount of wind, so that is keeping it a little bit more comfortable. But no, I'm not going outside in that hot weather. That's not got my cup of tea, and I've got a terrible allergy problem at the moment, so I'm constantly my nose is filled up, and I'm just going out for a little bit of posting a package, or putting out the trash outside and that kind of stuff. I'm not totally also inside, but I'm not going to sit outside when it's that warm. No, not my thing. But I'm rambling. Too much rambling. So, some dear friends from the internet I talked about a little bit before sent me some patterns, and so I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much. I think I thanked you already, but it is very special. And you can also be a friend and don't send me patterns. Don't get me wrong. there's no obligation or anything. But she said, well, maybe we can knit this together. So this is an interesting construction, and I like that. It's a Barocco pattern, and it is the Lovage. And there are more patterns called like that, but this is the one from Barocco. And it is you start at the sleeves, and you're going to increase. So the body and the sleeves are on two sleeves, and 2 body pieces are on this needle. So it is knitted sideways like this, goes over the shoulder, and at the end you're gonna pick up on the other side, on the underside, and then you're gonna, it's an interesting construction. And I had this yarn which I was looking for a purpose, because it is a kind of a self-striping. It is not that self-striping, thankfully, as I was afraid it would be. So it is more a gradual striping effect. Not too bad. It is all garter stitch, so some of you might really enjoy that. I like it too. Very mindless. Just working my way around. This is yarn from Ice Yarns. It looks backwards, probably it's going to look good for you. That's a Turkish company, and you can't buy single walls. It's just usually it's 4 of 100 grams. It might be 8 or 50 grams, but they go like that. And this is quite a lot of knitting for what I've used. This is just the first 2 balls. There's an insane amount of meterage on here. So it is 100 grams is 500 meters. Which is quite a lot. There's mohair wool and premium acrylic in here. So I'm knitting this, which is fun. It's fun to try different things, and enjoy chatting with friends about it, who's also knitting the same. I've got another. Let me look. Another pattern that I'm test knitting, and this is for Woodhouse Knits, which is Jennifer Wood, and she makes very elegant patterns. I really like her style. I've test knitted for her multiple times before. Sometimes you just struggle with the easiest things. I made a gauge swatch because for test knitting you just can't do it out, and I did it proper with wet blocking, leaving it to dry, and I thought, well, my gauge is a little bit off. if I go just it's a needle size, not even needle size, I think it went from 2.25 to 3.25 to 3. So it is not, it's just a quarter of a needle size. And then I will get perfect gauge, but I did not try that, I just assumed. And then I started knitting, and there are so many increases. So there are 2 increases every row. I think it is every row. It is a lot. It is a very funny construction though, because you got sleeve stitches, and this is the front stitches. You should start just with a few front stitches, and then the front stitches will increase and the sleeve stitches will keep the same. So you got a very nice line. The increases go like that. It's not like a raglan. This is totally different, and the front and the back are kind of the same. See? It's very nice. But because of so many increases, the work got tighter and tighter, and I was done by here. I like, this is so small, so my gauge changed so much because of all the pulling of the increases. So there was the way you increased was make one, knit one, make one, and then on both sides. But that is 2 increases very close together, and that started pulling. I did not like that. I think this will block out quite nice and flat. So what I did, the first one was a make one, then knit one, and then I did not do a make one because you're gonna lift that stitch up and you're gonna pull the yarn from the row below. I just did a yarn over, which I knitted through the back loop on the next row. So it's not an increase on every row, it's every other row. That makes more sense. So the yarn over will give you much more room to knit it through the back loop on the next round than 2 lifted increases next to each other. That didn't work for me. It looked great on her pattern. And there will be increases also here in the front. I don't know if you can see that. Well, I got a marker here. Well, there, yeah, I think you might be able to see there are increased lines like here. So there will be increases in the front and in the back to make a very nice A-line. So very nice pattern. And on the bottom there will be a little bit of a lace border, which I like. And yeah, just because, yeah, that just gives a little bit of an elegant look. I liked a little bit of a romantic look to clothing. That's just what I really like. So try to discover my style. I hear that a lot lately. That was also one of the masterclasses you got from Wardrobe Toolbox. How to find out what is really you, not like what you wear because you think that looks good on you, but something you choose because you feel you. You feel like this is, it feels good on you, and it feels like it represents how you like to be seen. You know, I don't know if that makes sense, but sometimes you wear clothes and you can't wait to get out of them because they don't sit great. And she also said like it's not that that you don't fit the clothes. The clothes don't fit you. And it's nothing to do with size. It just has to do with the designer who thinks everybody is straight or everybody's curved or everybody has a certain size, which we don't. And if you just rip out the tag which size it is and just buy something that fits nicely and feels good on you, then you got more of a whole picture. Like you look a whole with your clothing, and you don't look like you've been put in there to look great and it feels horrible. Whatever, babbling again. This is that test knit that I am working on. I still got almost a month, so that's another problem, but I vlogged the whole thing, restarted it, and yeah, this is also a color. It looks a bit more fuchsia, it's a bit more muted, but this is also a color I think will fit me. And I like the bright colors. I used to be drawn to pastel, but yeah, I really like floral motifs. I really high on my list is making a dress in some lovely floral. I think I have 3 or 4 meters of fabric, and it is like a aqua blue, like the little sweater I just showed you with tiny little flowers. I like it like that. I never wore that because I thought, that's a bit girlish and my age. But that's something you just gotta throw out of the window, and you're just gonna wear what you love, and then you will definitely be good in it because you feel like that's really what you like to wear, and not what somebody else thinks that it's not your age or whatever. It's just the strange things of society. Are we there yet? We're getting there. Summer knit along with farm design. I talked a little bit about that last time, how she nicely invited me to our Facebook group, let me in for free. And that is the Sommerstrikenter mit Velcro. Well, I totally butchered that, but it is the ice rose, which really shows up a lot in her patterns. And oh yeah, summer knit along, and you got it's in the Facebook group. You get a part of the pattern every 2 days or something, and it's exciting because you have to look for colors, and it's also hard. Let me be clear about that, because you gotta go start knitting on something which you don't know how it's gonna end. And I heard some people tell, and it is all in Norwegian. It's quite funny because I type things in English and they just answer in Norwegian. I just do the Google Translate, and in Facebook there's also already an inbuilt translation button. I just translate it and reply in English again. I love that. I think it's very funny, very enjoyable. But I'm quite active in there. I really like that. I figured out finally how to get just messages for the group that you're in, and not the messages from all over the world, from all the thousands of friends who all wanted to be a friend because of a certain game you played one time. And it doesn't matter. That does not matter. We all got our things. So, this is how it's turning out. Oh, it always looks so nice on screen if you make color work. See, look at that. So you're gonna choose certain colors. I think we use 4 colors, and then she started with white. I didn't want white because I really thought this would be my dominant color. I like that. I like this for I think all whole year round, but I really was going for fall and winter, because it is Drops Fable and Drops Flora, which has a lot of wool content, and it will be quite warm. It is fingering weight. We're knitting it on 3mm needles, which I never done a whole sweater on. I can't remember. No, I don't think I did. And it is, you can choose if you only do the yoke in color work. I was really going for a whole cardigan in color work. So it's also written, it is written for a sweater and a cardigan. Oh, the words today. So I'm going to do steek. I do steek stitches here. I made a mistake. It was off-centered. I ripped back like from here to there. This was white. I turned it into pink. Now I think, maybe I should have left it white, but that is just the way it is if you do it kind of blindly. So you get a little bit of, I've now got a chart, like this chart will repeat over here. I won't do it in this color, I will do it reversed. She did it in green with white, but I think the green already stands out a lot, really draws the attention. I don't want that big of a chunk of green. So I think I'm gonna do it. I'm already doing it. So this will be, the bottom will be, so this pink will be repeated in here. So it will be this pattern, I think. Maybe not totally the same, but kind of. And then the colors will be reversed. So a pink background and the ice rose will be in purple. I think that will balance things out. But you can only see it if you're done. But, yeah. I like the colors. If I look at other knitters, I thought, oh, I wish I would have chosen that. But I just chose this, and it is nice. It is 2 days. I think it is a day of knitting if you can have a lot of time. And if you don't, I think the 2 days will be sufficient. And if you have hardly any time, there's no way you can kind of keep up. I heard already say, some of them said, I just gonna wait for the whole pattern, then I'm going to choose my colors, and then I'm gonna knit it. Also a possibility. But I really like to see day by day what people made, which colors they choose, and how it's turning out. So I don't think this is bad. I don't think it's bad at all. If I have known before, I might have chosen differently. But yeah, already had lots of those colors. As I said, it is drops. The purple is drops fable. I also had a lot of this drops flora. So I don't have any shortage of yarn anywhere. So I can choose as I go. I can change up the colors if I like. If I decide I just keep it at a joke and gonna knit the rest plain, then it will be more purple than it has now. But purple will be the predominant color. There was no back neck shaping. I did do it. I really like that much more because it gives it a very more shaped look than if you don't do it. Her back and front were totally the same. It was total reversible, but she knitted multiple samples in different colors, which is amazing. So much knitting, but wonderful. If you knit a smaller size, of course, that will make a huge difference. I was a little bit concerned about it might be a little bit tighter than my gauge swatch because of the color work, so I did go up a quarter of a needle size just to give it a little bit more of a relaxed feel, and even with the blocking it will be a little bit more, yeah, hopefully a little bit less stiff, but it's not bad overall. But I don't want this to be too small because I'm not going to restart that again, that's for sure. That was, I think I've covered all of the knitting. This is going to be insane again. An hour of babbling. Ridiculous. I just wanted to do a few more things. There is still a knit along going on. It's the Knit to Heal call, and it is going to be a prize drawing at the end of this month, so you got a few more days to enter. The idea behind the whole knit along was we're gonna knit to heal ourselves, and a lot of us use our knitting for healing. It is not the big success I hoped it would be. I postponed a knit along for a long time because I was kind of expecting this to happen, because you have to have a lot of viewers and a lot of people that participate if you want this to be a thing. And I'm very thankful for the ones who do participate. And I know if you are really not well, then this is also not the place to use a knit along, because you got enough to worry about on your own. So no, there's no blame to anybody. But if you want to win a prize, I got 2 lovely knit crate boxes that I'm going to donate as a prize. Kia from Kia's Boat has entered the knit along so far, and Nicole from the Netherlands has also participated. You can always go look over there to the thread on Ravelry. You can post just the finished object that you made. You don't have to explain why you did that or what is wrong with you, or if you don't want to talk about it, there's no pressure in talking about it anyway. Just put your finished object in there. Give the other finished objects some love, because people have been very busy making things. So if there are more people participating, that would be very, very fun and very much appreciated. If not, then I'd go do a drawing and maybe do the both of the boxes this month, and then just give it a rest and let it go. I must admit, I do not participate in a lot of knit alongs. The only thing I do is knit Free Socks 2020 from Kia's Boat. and that is primarily I like to try new patterns. I like to challenge myself in doing sock patterns. Usually I only knit vanilla socks because that is mindless for me, but now, yeah, you get challenged, and I'm not thinking about winning a prize. Probably not going to be. I like to see what other people's made, and that's fun for me. They're all free sock patterns, and we at least I do have a lot of sock yarn, so don't have to invest anything in it. But I'm not hopping over to every knit along that's going on for all podcasts I watch. I totally can understand if you don't participate. So that being said, I would love you to see you there. So don't get me wrong. There's also another thing I just wanted to mention. A friend of mine here over in the Netherlands has written a sock pattern. She is looking for test knitters. So if you like to knit socks, it is a lovely colorwork sock. It doesn't look too complicated. The pattern is written in English, so if you have some sock knitting experience, that would be great, because the pattern is written in a way that she says make the German short row heel, and she doesn't explain you exactly how to do it. So there's a very lovely chart exactly how to knit colorwork. So if you fancy, if you would like, you can contact me. I will bring you in contact with her if you like to knit the sock pattern for her. She is looking for testers. I volunteered to do so. I might start even sooner than I expected, Nicole. There is no time frame, but we want to don't let her wait for half a year. So I think this a maximum or a month or two, hopefully. I think that's plenty of time. So as I understand it, I think she has 2 test knitters at the moment, but it would be really nice if she had a few more. Also, of course, the project pages that will give the pattern a little bit more of attention, and also the clarity and the fit, and all kinds of things. Test knitting is not hard. Just knit the pattern with the yarn that you've got, and if there are any things that are unclear, typos, or things that just don't match, you just contact the designer. You tell her so, and it would be nice if you could keep a track of the yardage, maybe the final uses and the size you came up with, all kinds of things that makes it interesting for the designer to know if her sock is going to fit a certain amount of people, and yeah. So I will put some pictures in here. They are really lovely colorwork socks. They use 3 colors, so you can use tiny little leftovers, mix and match whatever you like, what fits your style. I can totally see this be knitted up in a little bit of a thicker yarn if you want a bigger size and use it on cozy house socks. That's a lovely pattern. So here are going to be the pictures. Go have a look. And if you want to be the test knitter for Nicole, then just leave me a message on yolandalovesyarn@gmail.com, yolandalovesyarn@gmail.com. You can also message me on Instagram or Ravelry. If we're friends, then totally fine. I will relay your message and bring you in contact with her. So I really hope there are a few of you that really consider trying and helping her out with this. Good. I think we covered it all, people. I hope you're doing well. So this goes for everybody. If you like to talk, if you like to share your pictures, you can totally send me a personal message or Ravelry or on Instagram, wherever you like. You can also email me personally. This is just my personal email address. There's nobody else reading it, watching it, whatever. So very, very interested. And also thank you to the other lovely person here in the Netherlands who sent me a lovely pattern, which I'm gonna I want to finish the test knit from Woodhouse Knits, and then yes, I'm going to start your pattern also, because that is a summer top, a wonderful summer top, which I hopefully started next time, and then I can share it with you, because she was so kind to give me the pattern. Wonderful, very happy. Well, I had to have a little bit of a break because the mail woman was here, and there was also somebody else who needed some attention of me. And look what I've got. This is the Knit Crate package, and I'm gonna open it now so you can all see and enjoy. I didn't really think what I can't remember what I was talking about. I think I just thanked everybody for their kindness, for the patterns, for the attention. Talked about the sock pattern, so I think I was almost finished babbling. So this is very distinguished for Knit Crate, the green box or the green bag. Okay, this is the neutral. I had some of these before. I have purple and I have dark red. Mole, seriously, just dropped my tablet. And that has sparkle. I think this is the neutral color. So this is, I don't think this will be a color that will look good to my face though. Just gonna lock the screen for a little bit, second. I don't think this will be particularly a color that will look good on me. So these will probably turn into socks. And it has very nice sparkle, which doesn't show up that well, I think. So there are usually two skeins. This time we got a little sachet of soap, which is wool wash, and there's also a card which on the back has a code where you can download the booklet that is always in here, providing you with patterns where you can use your yarn with. There are more patterns for all the crates is also already in this booklet, so for the sock crates and so forth. There are also knit patterns and crochet patterns, and this time you can just download it and your patterns will be added to your Ravelry library. It's a miracle my tablet survived. It survived the crash on the floor. Ridiculous. So that was Knit Crate. If you want to try Knit Crate, or maybe you want to wait until all the corona crisis is over, there's also always a link below this video, and if you use that link, then I will get some percentage off on my next crate, which is also very nice and very, very appreciated if you would try that and do it that way. So I think I woke up all the kitties, so because Molly is here, she just dropped my tablet. And maybe some of you will like to see Victor. Come here, little fella. He has become so heavy and big. Look at this. And he still doesn't want cuddles. But he is the most ridiculous cat in the world. He does the weirdest thing. He is totally in love with the dog. Look at him. Just doesn't want cuddles. None. Oh, we have so much fun with him. He's gonna be a very big red cat because he already is more than 4 kilos. He's 10 months and he has very big paws. And somebody said yesterday, he's gonna be a big red cat. He's going to be. Hey, Vic, Vic, Vic. Vic is going to the window still. She's gonna look for birdies, look for flies. There he goes. See, there he is. So I hope you enjoyed this episode with all kinds of stuff, and drop me a message if you like to. I hope you're still feeling well and keeping sane with all these weird things going on in the world. Stay strong, stay healthy, keep your mind occupied, do wonderful things and make this a time to remember not only the bad things, but also make it a time to remember good things, like getting close to your own family and discovering who the real friends are, who will stay through with you through all these times and stay in contact. So keep doing your best, and we do all the best we can. So have a wonderful time. Enjoy the weather that you got, that we'll be giving, and I hope to see you next time, and I hopefully will stay in touch also outside this podcast. Until next time, take care of yourself and your friends and your loved ones, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.